Rookie profile season is here. We had to start with one of my favorite players in the draft class. We're talking about Arizona wide receiver Tetairoa McMillan. Overview, tape review, stats, fantasy football projections. If you learn even one thing from this video, please give it a like, drop us a comment, let us know how early you're willing to draft Tetairoa McMillan. John, for me, it's going to be early. It's going to be often. Tell us about the wide receiver out of Arizona.
This is why I love playing college fantasy football, Matt. We have watched T-Mac for 3 years now, and this young man has smashed on campus. In high school, he was a 5-star recruit from California and the number 4 ranked wide receiver in the nation. He was actually the highest ranked recruit in Arizona history to ever step onto the campus. And as a true freshman in 2022, he made 8 starts, Matt, and he led all freshmen in the nation with 702 yards receiving, 39 catches, and 8 touchdowns. He established a school record for receiving yards for freshmen. We were all excited his sophomore year in 2023, and he was even better, Matt. 90 receptions for 1,402 yards and 10 touchdowns. That was the second most yards in program history. He was named second team All Pac-12 and second team All-American by the Sporting News. Simply spectacular. And in 2024, he rebounded again with 84 catches for 1,319 yards and 8 touchdowns. He was first team All-American and All Big 12 first team, finalist for the Blitnikoff Award, and he was a Polynesian College Football Player of the Year. When he left Arizona, he was first in school history with 3,423 yards, and he recorded over 100 receiving yards 9 times and over 203 games. Matt, he is a top 5 dynasty pick in all formats, might be top 2 in some. What does your film analysis say about T-Mac?
Oh, there is some good film to get into, John. And back this year for those watching on YouTube
Woo-hoo!
is our all 22 film. So as we're going through this tape breakdown here, you have just a sample. It's not a highlight reel. It's a sample of the types of ways that Tetairoa McMillan wins. You're talking about a guy who's 6'5", 210, right? So something that really jumps out with McMillan is his play speed. He accelerates well along the boundary, and he's definitely speedy for a guy who's coming in at 6'5". Not a burner. He's not going to run a 4.4 40, but he is fast along the boundary, accelerates into the deep field, and makes him a threat at all 3 levels. I love his fluidity and his athleticism. He wins before the catch. He wins after the catch. And I love that vertical athleticism. When you pair the ability to go up and high point a ball with already being 6'5", that's a really lethal combination for fantasy football purposes. Great hands, catches everything on target. He can extend his frame well. I love his contested catch ability.
Woo!
It's not just relying on his frame, though, right? He holds on through contact. He's got good body positioning. And when it comes to route running, now we're not talking about, an elite level route runner, but he works the whole tree. I like his comeback route. He works a nice out route. Good go. He can work the slant. Tetairoa McMillan does the full tree well. And believe it or not, add into this some yards after catch potential. I mean, he has field vision. He has elusiveness. He's flexible in the hips, John. It helps him through his routes. It also helps him after the catch. Tetairoa McMillan is a very well-rounded wide receiver. There's no clear flaws in his game, and that's why he's going to be a highly coveted NFL draft pick, and he's going to be a very highly coveted dynasty fantasy football pick in all those rookie drafts. Before we get into your stat eval, John, I want to point out, you just saw a little bit of Tetairoa McMillan. You heard us talk about him, break him down. If you want to hear about the 81 full prospects that have been evaluated with full film reviews available at patreon.com/rookie-big-board, you got to head on over there, get access to those full film breakdowns. The Rookie Big Board has been absolutely spot on with nailing some of the biggest hits the last few years. The Brock Bowers, the Tyrone Tracys, the Puka Nakuas, the Justin Jeffersons, the Justin Herberts. We have been ahead of the game. You want to get ahead of your league mates, head on over to patreon.com/rookiebigboard. Personalized advice, excellent rankings, and access to the Rookie Big Board Discord. All right, John, talk about the film is impressive, but the stats are pretty dang impressive as well.
Matt, when you look at it and you say to yourself, he is a classic X receiver at 6'5", 212 pounds. But what I like about him is he has position versatility. He did play out of the slot at Arizona, and he has a pretty diverse route tree. And you mentioned it. I think he's very fluid of an athlete, and he's an elite ball tracker. But the stats, Matt, there are some phenomenal numbers that pinpoint him as a future star. His team aerial dominator rating at 44%. Every defense coordinator knew they had to stop him. Defensive backs had to stop him. We just saw a clip where he had 3 defenders on him and he still caught the ball, right? I mean, this man wants the ball and he can dominate for you on the boundary. His catch percentage at 63. Not unbelievable, but we have to put it into context. I would not say the Wildcats have had the best quarterbacking since he's been there, and he doesn't have a lot of teammates to take pressure off of him, so he gets some throws his way that probably should not be there. His receiving yards per team pass attempt is a healthy 3.01. My benchmark's 2.50, so he's well above that. And I've said this before, Matt, I like when yards per reception and PFF dot match up. He has a 16.1 yards per reception, but they're throwing him the ball at 13.7 yards down the field. That's a really nice A-dot. He catches the balls deep down. This young man has everything you're looking for. Just a little context. If he was in last year's draft class, though, Matt, I would have had him at number 5 in the rankings. That's how good last year's class was. What do you say about T-Mac for fantasy, Matt?
Yeah, let's put it all together. Let's translate it here to fantasy football value, because that's what it's all about here at the Rookie Big Board. So I'm expecting Tetairoa McMillan to get some really juicy NFL draft capital. I think at worst, John, Carolina Panthers at 8. I think that's his floor. I could see the Raiders there at 6. I could see the Jets there at 7. Wouldn't shock me. The Pats at 4. There's a lot of opportunity in the top 10 for NFL teams that need a difference maker. And we have a real teardrop at wide receiver, at pure wide receiver, after Tetairoa McMillan. So there could be a lot of pressure there for a team in the top 10 to make sure they take him early. And that's great NFL draft capital. That's going to lead to a great fantasy football opportunity and projection. I'm expecting McMillan to have over 100 targets as a rookie wide receiver, probably going to be pushing somewhere in the 7 to 9 touchdowns. That's an impact player here. That's somebody who I expect to be a top 4 pick in Superflex rookie drafts. So my projected ADP range for him is 101 to 104. I think that a certain running back we're going to talk about shortly here in the Rookie Profile Series might go 101 in a lot of leagues, but McMillan's going to be right there at 102, and he's going to be a highly coveted guy. I'm going to get a ton of exposure. I always put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to have close to 40% exposure to McMillan. If I have a top 4 pick, that second, that third pick, even that first pick in a rookie draft, I'm going to be prioritizing adding McMillan to my roster. And what's great about the Rookie Big Board rankings is you can compare the grade that I give to a rookie directly to the value that I place on a dynasty player. And for me, McMillan lines up perfectly with T. Higgins. You mentioned it, John. You look at last year's class, he wouldn't be as high as Malik Neighbors, but he's close. He's right there. And T. Higgins for me is a top 12 dynasty wide receiver. And I think McMillan is going to slot in as a top 12 dynasty wide receiver, an instant impact player in fantasy football lineups, and an instant value add to any fantasy football roster. But John, there is no bigger value add to a fantasy football roster than the resources available over at patreon.com/rookiebigboard. personalized access via the Rookie Big Board Discord. You have one-on-one draft consultation calls, dynasty rankings, Devy rankings, and in-depth analysis, full scouting reports for over 80 rookies. If you learned even one thing from this video, give it a like. Make sure to subscribe to the Rookie Big Board. Class will be in session all throughout rookie draft season with the FF Educator, with the Gridiron Scholar. We're going to be back soon with another rookie profile breakdown.